1 week ago, on a bus somewhere in the middle of New Jersey, I made one of the biggest decisions in my life. I accepted my appointment to United States Naval Academy, the class of 2019, a goal I had been chasing since before my freshman year of high school. Before my freshman year, I knew I wanted to go to a military college. There were things about that intrigued me. The way your classmates, teammates, and professors pushed you to the edges of the envelope and then asked for more. The way you're in constant competition with your classmates, and the idea of giving back to the country that has given me so much. Midshipmen at the Academy are regularly ranked against their classmates based on three things: your grade and the strength of your major, your physical fitness scores and athletic participation, and your military knowledge and bearing. This ranking is a huge factor in summer assignment choices and ship selection for seniors. In my sophomore year, something changed. I fell in love with the sport of rowing and became good at it. And even still, to this day, I enjoyed doing it, even on the worst days of practice. As my junior year was coming to a close, my coach and I sat down to talk about rowing in college, something I'd never considered until he'd said something. And for the first time, this opened up the world of college to me. During my summer and the fall of my senior year, I was regularly talking to college coaches and going on visits. The most important thing I looked at was whether or not the school had an ROTC program, as this would allow me to serve my country, get a college education, and row all at the same time. 3 out of the 4 service academies have rowing: Navy, Coast Guard, and West Point. Army West Point now. Navy had the best rowing team of the 3, currently ranked 12th nationally. The Air Force Academy was still on the list, even though it didn't have a team. Through a tough process and some help from colleges, I had narrowed down my college choices to 4 schools: the University of Washington, the Naval Academy, University of Wisconsin, and Dartmouth. I had been waitlisted by both the Coast Guard Academy and the Air Force Academy, and was relatively low on the waitlist, so there was very little chance that I would get in. Within a few weeks, I had narrowed it down even further to the University of Washington and Navy. Finally, the time came to make a decision: University of Washington, or go to another school and repeat senior year, and then go to Navy the following fall. It was a decision I struggled with for several weeks. Both schools had their pros and cons. On one hand, I had Washington, the best rowing school in the country, a great academic school, and all 3 ROTC branches. I had gotten a 3-year NROTC scholarship to the school. I would be around girls all the time. I could go out and experience what a normal college life is like. I would have real weekends. Would be able to leave campus wherever I wanted to, go where I wanted, when I wanted, and was able to make my own schedule. But I would one face in tens of thousands, and it would be a lot harder to make a difference there. On the other hand was Navy. 4 years of school with a 5-year commitment to serve after graduating. But before I could even go there, I had to do an extra year of high school, something my friends, even to this day, don't let me live down. I would have Saturday class. It would be an all-boys school for a year, but Navy offered me something Washington couldn't, and that was a chance to set up my future, to make connections with all sorts of different people. When your professors are former directors of the NSA, CIA, and the top minds in their fields, you really get a chance to learn from them and make great connections for jobs after the military. During the summer, I would never have to apply for a summer job. If I wanted an internship with the company or the government, all I had to do was ask for it. Also, the summers at Navy are some of the coolest in the world. Midshipmen there get to go on all sorts of things, ranging from airborne assault school and getting your jump wings, to go on a ship out in the sea, or joining a Marine platoon for a few weeks in California as they train to get ready to deploy, or going and hang out with the SEALs for a couple weeks. All while getting paid, might I add. I'd also receive a free college education, and if I saved my money right, I could come out of school with a few $1,000s saved up. But Navy isn't a normal college. It's the military with sides of education. You wake up every day at 6 o'clock as a freshman, stand out in the middle of the hall, and yell as loud as you can for minutes on end. They're called shot calls. And in it, you list 3 meals of the day from memory, as well as officer of the watch and a bunch of other random information. This is to wake up the upperclassmen and teach you how to memorize things quickly. College is hard enough by itself, but you add in the military stuff, add pressure to succeed and be good, and you get a very stressful 4 years. With all this written down on a legal pad, I pondered, prayed, talked to all sorts of people, got tons of advice from people my parents knew, or I knew, and I worked with over the summer. Ultimately, I chose to do the extra year and go to Navy the following fall. To this day, I don't know exactly why I chose this route, and probably never will understand it all. All I know is that I definitely felt God's presence in my decision, as if He was saying, yes, this is what I want for you. I also realized that my life goal of changing someone else's life for better and making a difference in the world would be better served by going to the Navy. Navy would allow me to grow as a leader and as a person of honor and integrity. Probably the biggest factor in my decision to serve my country would be my parents. My mom is currently a colonel in the Air Force, serving on the Joint Staff for the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. She has been an incredible role model for me, always pushing me to do better and calling me out when I slack off. She leads by example. At our last command, under her guidance, her squadron won Best Squadron in the Air Force for the second year in a row, and because of her initiative and pursuit of excellence, her installation won Best Installation in the Air Force. My dad served in the Navy before retiring and going on to work as a fire chief and a fire marshal at various fire departments around the country. He died when I was 6 months old, so his memory of the things he's accomplished has motivated me to make him proud. This weekend, I got several calls and Facebook messages from what surviving family and friends on his side congratulating me, telling me how proud of me he would be and how much it would have meant to him seeing me in my uniform and serving my country. My stepdad is also in the military, except he was in the Army doing EOD, Explosive Ordnance Disposal. The guys in the hurt worker. Something my mother was also qualified in. EOD is definitely one of the coolest jobs in the military, if you ask me. Having both my parents in the military changed my childhood. Instead of staying home with a babysitter, I often went to work with my parents. Imagine, little me, walking around an Army EOD shop, playing with all the old ordnance, and getting my hands climbing onto the trucks and robots, playing with anything I could get my little hands on. As I grew up, I began to understand more and more what it was that my parents actually did and the dangers they faced. It was a big sacrifice. The biggest sacrifice my parents had to make was my dad's career. We were living overseas in Germany at the time. Both my parents were getting orders for deployment. My mom to Afghanistan and my dad to Iraq for the third time. He would have less than 2 weeks home. These deployments lasted 9 months each. 9 months of both my parents being in a combat zone. They were very stressful times for my family. Grandparents switching every month or so, having to take care of my younger brother and sister a lot more. Then, the biggest change in my life came when my little sister was diagnosed with leukemia at 3 years old. We immediately moved back to the States. My mom was fortunate enough to get a spot at a command school in Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. My dad immediately retired from the Army to take care of my little sister and stay with her at the hospital. This meant a big change for us. My dad lived at the hospital on weekdays, and my parents would switch on weekends. This changed our family in many ways. At home, we could no longer have plants. We had put hand sanitizers up everywhere, and my sister, on the very rare occasion she was allowed to come home, was required to wear a mask to prevent her from getting any sorts of sickness. This put a lot of stress on my parents, which in turn came on to my brother and I. We were responsible for a lot more around the house now, and we were still expected to maintain our schoolwork and active community service. This event forced me to grow up very quickly. It forced me to realize that my actions have an impact on someone else's life, much like they will later in life when I'm in the military. From a young age, my parents impressed upon me the ideas of honor, courage, commitment, duty, integrity, service before self, and excellence in all we do. More than just words, these are the core values of the Air Force and Navy. Duty is defined as having the moral obligation to place the accomplishment of a assigned task before the needs, consideration, or advancement of any other ideal, organization, or individual. These ideals have made me into the person I am today. My parents pushed me to the best person I could be, someone with honor, integrity, and a sense of duty. They didn't tolerate lying, and any lie, no matter how small, was punished severely. There have been times in my life when I've taken the easy road out, and either not done something or cheated at it. The hardest thing isn't the act itself, but looking at yourself in the mirror after. Last year, I was in the pinch with my AP government class. Every week we had these chapter summaries due. They weren't hard, they just took forever and they were really dull. On one of these assignments, I had found an online website provided with summaries provided by the book publisher. In a hurry, I copied and pasted it, changed a few words around, and called it a night. The next day at school, my teacher caught me and several other students cheating. When I got home from practice, I told my mom what had happened. To this day, I still remember the look on her face when I told her. It was a look of pure disappointment. I will never forget this look as long as I live. This look inspires me to never take the easy road out, to always do my work and be a person of integrity. On my bed at home, I have a poster, and on are these words: duty. The test of character is not hanging in there when you expect a light at the end of the tunnel, but performance of duty and persistence of example when you know no light is coming. My parents gave me that on graduation last June, and when I'm home, I read it every night before I go to bed. I believe that growing up as a military brat has been the biggest definer of who I am today. It has changed me, shaped me, motivated me, and inspired me. I can't wait to see what the future holds for me and my tournament to the Academy. It is sure to be one heck of a ride. I leave you with this quote from Reef Points, the Midshipman's Bible. And to anyone considering the military as a lifestyle, it's not just a job, it's a lifestyle. You are a military professional, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Turning it off is not an option. You are held to a higher standard than the general populace, as dictated by the Commander-in-Chief, and such military standards as the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and all of the military directives. Go Navy, beat Army. Thank you very much.